Good Friday to you, everybody in Com 785. Welcome to the pre-week video for Com 785. How is everybody doing? I'm your instructor for this semester, Dr. Jeff Gardner, and I am excited to be here. 1 second, though. That's better. What do we have here today? The I'd hike that mug courtesy of my beautiful wife. Thank you so much. And yes, I would hike that. All right. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the semester. I hope you had a little bit of a breather between now and spring. I am very excited about this course. And so in this video, what I'm going to tell you about is the things that you need for week one, that is how to get started. And then in a separate video, we're going to cover the material for week one. So each week for this class, I'll give you 2 videos, one in which I go over the work that you did last week, whether it's discussions or a project or an exam or something. And then a video in which we're going to talk about the material that we're going to be covering. Both videos are important for you to watch. They're going to contain critical information about the class, including deadlines and background to material and things that we fill in. And so you need to watch them. Okay. And periodically throughout the semester, we'll set up some Zoom classes in which we can kick around some of the material and ideas and upcoming projects that we have, give you a chance to interact with one another, with me, ask questions in a real-time format. All right? Okay, so what are we going to be up to for this semester, and how do you get started? First, this being the summer, we're not exactly a full 16 weeks. We're 15, but we're going to treat it that way anywho's. We're going to get all of that material in. So the first thing you need to do, go over to Blackboard, get the syllabus, download it, print it, okay? And starting on May 8th, that is this coming week, you must have the necessary books to get started. Now, for the first week, if the only book that you had was this book by Wilson et al., then that would suffice, all right? But please, and I'm nothing but love for you here, but do not contact me and say, well, I didn't get the books because of okay? You are communication doctoral students, strategic communication doctoral students. The books are your job. Do your job. Nothing but love for you. Do your job. Get the books, all right? You will see listed in the syllabus, page 8, there are 5 required texts for this course. 4 of them are available in the Regent bookstore, 1 of them on Amazon. Now, you get them anywhere you want. I don't care. You get them from the Book Fairy. Anywhere that's cheapest for you. Just make sure that you're using the same editions that I have listed there. And I've listed, 1 edition, out of print or something to keep the costs down. Okay, so you don't have to get them where it says it's listed, but you do have to get them. Okay, so there are 5 books. There are 2 by Cialdini. 1 is Persuasion, right there. Right, this one is in the bookstore. The other one is Influence, the 5th edition. All right, this one is on Amazon. I did not order that in the bookstore because the bookstore would not allow me to just order the 5th edition. They insisted that I order the 7th edition, which is crazy expensive. There's really nothing more in the 7th edition that you don't get in the 5th edition. So go to Amazon and get that book. The other one, the next one required, is by Pastor Corbet, called When Helping Hurts, How to Alleviate Poverty Without Hurting the Poor and Yourself. And then finally, the Communication Strategy Handbook by Von Wooler et al. Okay, what are we going to be doing in this class, and what's the deal with all of these books? Well, here's how I've designed the class. I've broken it into 3 major sections, during which each of the 3 sections, we're going to cover the 3 major areas that out in the market, whether you're going there or you're there already, because maybe someday you're going to make a horizontal or vertical move. The 3 major areas where strategic communicators ply their skill. What are those? Those are in public relations. Those are in marketing, and specifically in this case, because, marketing is like, but digital marketing vis-a-vis online and social media, and the not-for-profit sector, which I should say, is an area that we probably do not talk about nearly enough, and an area that I've been working in for something like going on 20 years. Okay. So, what we're going to do for each of those three sections, we're going to look at history, we're going to look at best practices, we're going to look at some of the theories, we're going to look at some of the scholarly research that pertains to what's going on in those areas. And if you already work in one of those sectors, great. We'll be looking forward to hearing your voice as we discuss scholarship and best practices. And if you haven't worked in one of those three areas, PR, marketing, or not for profit, then this is an opportunity for you to get exposure in those areas. And go, it kind of interests me. Maybe I would like to do that someday. Okay, maybe. So I selected these books to allow us to focus on those three areas. But I also selected these books with an eye for what would I like you to have on your shelves as practicing strategic communication persons, directors. You usually come out with a PhD. You're going to be, you're going to be head of something, going to be a director. Maybe you're going to be a professor in a strategic communications department. Okay. These books are books that I have on my shelf. And you see behind me, this is a small fraction of the library that keeps taking over my house, but I love every minute of it. My wife, not so much. That you can use whether you're out in the private public sector, or you're teaching in academics, or like a number of us here that work at Regent, you're doing both. Okay, I do both. I work out in the private sector and I work for not-for-profits, and I teach at Regent. So I'm able to apply my skills and then turn around and teach the lessons that I learned. So that's how I've designed the course. Give you exposure to these three main areas, give you a chance to do some scholarship in one of the three, not all of the three, give you books that you're going to want to have around and reference as you go through life. All right. So get the syllabus printed out. Look at the dates. Okay. There's a calendar in there. I do not list each reading a week by week on the calendar, because in addition to these 5 books, I'm going to be giving you select readings. When I was trying to decide on which books, it's like, yowies. If I require all these, you're going to buy a small library. Okay. I mean, for me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Look at this. But for you, I get it. I mean, and I'm always looking for used books and stuff because, budget, that kind of thing. All right. So I will be giving you additional material, required material, and then material that's optional for you. In fact, in the course content folder, which after you download the syllabus and you look at the books and you look at the schedule, go to the course content folder for week 1. You will see always in course content folder, in the assignments folder, 2 categories. 1, the required, and then 2, the suggested. And under each, I'm going to say, this is required for the week. You must read this. You must watch this. And then under suggested, I'll say, well, maybe you get something out of watching this or reading this. All right. So I'll throw that out for you. Okay. So that's why you do not see selected pages already listed in the syllabus. But you will see the major topics and you will see the deadlines when the stuff is due. All right. So in terms of how you accumulate points, I've broken it into 3 parts. Number 1, the Blackboard discussion. And then once about every 2 weeks, you're going to do an essay, somewhere between 500 and 700 words. So the writing and interaction participation part, that's 1. Number 2, examination. You'll do a midterm and a final examination. And then number 3, a class, a semester-long project. I will give you a sheet for that in the coming week, but to give you sort of a big, big outline, here's how it's going to work. I want you to break up into teams of 2 and 3. And in one of the 3 major areas that we're going to be covering, PR, marketing, or not-for-profit, I want you to pick one of those. And then I want you to design a project that is, for instance, it can be an existing or an imagined, entity, and you're going to design a PR campaign. You're going to design a marketing campaign. You're going to design a major fundraising campaign. And there'll be 2 sides to this project. One will be the research, in which you're going to present the best theories, the way to go about it. You're going to have a timetable. You're going to have a budget. And then the other side is going to be the presentation to the public, the constituents, who I can tell you from practice don't give a hoot about theory and budgets except for big strokes. All right, so much shorter. This would be your 5 minutes on the rug presenting what it is that you've done. All right. The rhyme and reason behind this project is I want to equip you with a template, a boilerplate that you can go out either if you work somewhere to an existing employer, or maybe you want to make a lateral move, all right? Or when you finish with here and you say, yeah, we can design a PR campaign for you. Yeah, we can design a major fundraising campaign for you. And you whip out your proposal, not to them, okay? And then you strip out all the names and things that you use, and you have this template that you pour in all the pertinent information for the project that you're going to present, that gets you the job, that moves you into the department, that puts the presentation out there. You're the author. All right. So that's the design. It's a practicum as well as a theoreticum. That's the design of the major semester project. Like I said, I'll give you a sheet. We're going to be talking more about that. Okay. As to how we're going to do these things, that is the nuts and bolts. All right. That is going through the texts and doing the essays every 2 weeks and doing the discussion and doing the major project. I've designed this course to be writing heavy and reading heavy. Why? Well, in my almost 20 years now of working in communication, and I've worked for organizations as small as one person. I mean, somebody just thought it up and incorporated a not-for-profit in their living room, to the UN, to international universities. I was recently the chief of staff for the American University of Afghanistan. I've worked, all the sizes in between. They all have different ways of going about what they do and different objectives and so on and so forth, but they all have one common terror, fear, and that is appearing incompetent to their constituents. It doesn't matter who those are. If you work at a public utility and it's the people who get the water bill, or if you work at a not-for-profit and it's the people who get the appeal for donations, the organization lives in holy terror of being seen as incompetent. And the quickest way for an organization to be seen as incompetent is poor communication. And that's on us. We're the experts. So we must continue to develop our skills to a high degree, both in terms of fluidity, that is, we do it very quickly, and then rapidity. We can just do it over and over and over, specifically in the area of writing, because that's where most people are going to meet you or who you work for in writing. And here's the deal in strategic communication, especially out in the marketplace. If you make a major mistake, if you can't see grammatical errors or poorly constructed arguments or just nonsensically organized material, right? And you can't see that in others. Maybe you have others working underneath you and you have to give it the final okie dokie before you send it out. If you don't see that, if you can't see that, first of all, you're done. You're going to be out of there. And secondly, if it goes out the door and you don't see it, it immediately changes the conversation in the minds of those who read it, the constituents. And it doesn't matter what conversation you were having before, like, this is why your water bill is like this, or this is why you should be giving money to this cause, or this is why this person is the best person to be elected to this office. So, it doesn't matter what the conversation is. What you change it to is, this organization doesn't know what it's doing. And that is not a change of conversation that you want to have for yourself or for your organization. And one of the things that I found to be true in communication and being the person or amongst the persons in the communication office is you are one step away, just depending on which where you put your foot, okay, from being the hero or the scapegoat. And that's just the biz, folks. All right. It's not my rule. It's just the way it is. So, in order for you to spend as much time as possible in the hero box, you must sharpen your skills as a writer, as a thinker, as a reader. And this is an ongoing process. All right. Now, I'm not going to stand over you and whip you, like circus ponies. But I have exercises designed for you designed to, with limitations, word count, scores on readability scales that will help you develop those skills. And this is a process. You know, in this class, this is a safe space. All right. You can make some mistakes in here, but we're gonna call each other on it and go, hey, so you don't make them out there, whether it's you're teaching classes yourself or you're working for an organization. Okay. All right. So more to come about the semester-long project, and then about every 2 weeks, I'll have an essay assignment, and it will be embedded in the Blackboard discussion forum, and it'll be self-explanatory, straightforward. All right. So I see we're at 15 minutes and some change. Okay. So welcome. Excited to have you here. Print the syllabus. Get the books. In the course content folder are the readings for this coming week. You can jump into them right now. I've got 3 things for you to read, and then 1 thing for you to watch, which I'll tell you right on the upfront is 3 hours and 54 minutes. But I think you're going to like it. All right. So welcome. When you're done with this, take a breather, go get a cup of coffee, and then watch the second video in which I'm going to cover the material for week 1. All right. Welcome, everybody. God bless. See you this coming Monday. Bye-bye.